Okay, I have fixed the nut on this banjo, and the fifth string nut is basically just a little slot so that the fifth string will come through this peg and run up through this slot and then run down to the bridge. This one was broken off. In fact, you can see where the corner is broke off there, and basically what this white thing is, it's just a little piece of white bone. You can get these from Stuart McDonald. They're very tiny. There's one right there if you can see it, and they're not cheap at all. And what I did was I just took a drill bit, I drilled that hole a little bit deeper so that I could slip that down in there, and I glued it in place good and firm so that it won't move, and that should take care of the fifth string nut, which should be good. I was thinking about this as I was doing it. You know, I used to build model cars. I know Cappy and some other people out there build model cars, and when you build model cars you get these little racks like this that have the model car pieces on them, and I was thinking, I wonder if you could take a piece of that and cut it, notch it, and put it in place, and if it would work just as well. If it would, it sure would save you a boatload of money. But never tried that, but I might try it again on the next go round. So this neck is basically ready to go back on, with the exception of some cleaning, and I'm going to oil it down. And what I might do is also take these, I'm not sure whether I want to pull these pegs off of here or not. I might do it just for the sake of showing everybody how they work. But if I had them off of here, it'd make it really easy to kind of clean the whole thing and put it back together. I'm not going to take the fifth string peg out because it's in there kind of crooked, but it looks like it's glued in there pretty firmly, and I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it just like that, because as long as it's solid and it works good, we'll call it good. Maybe I won't take these pegs apart, but it's a good opportunity to talk about how they work. These are what's called friction pegs. When they first started, when they first started with banjos, they used these kind of pegs. These are basically violin pegs, and all they are is a carved piece of ebony, and they're shoved up in there. They're cut at an angle, and you wrap the string around the other end, and you shove it up in there to make it tight, or you pull it out a little bit to loosen it. It's pretty tricky to tune up a banjo with a set of pegs like that. It works really better if the banjo and the pegs are matched together really well, but a lot of times they're not, and a lot of times those things go out of tune pretty quickly. So shortly thereafter they came up with these friction pegs, and basically what this is, this bolt runs all the way through and runs into the other side of this peg, and when you tighten the bolt, you literally tighten up the amount of pressure that's on this headstock, which makes these, increases the friction on these so they don't turn easily. I have people write to me all the time and they'll say, well, my pegs are messed up, they won't stay in tune. Well, on these, all you do is take a screwdriver, put it right here, and you tighten these up a little bit, and that'll firm them up so they won't be loose anymore. So that's a pretty easy fix if you have those kind of pegs. Later on, they went to geared pegs. Guitars have geared pegs, and this is a pretty nice set of geared pegs right here. And you also see this type of geared peg, which is kind of like a guitar peg, where the little ears stick out the side. I think of these as cheaper geared pegs than those over there. But anyway, that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what banjo pegs are all about. And this one is the same way. It has a little screw in the end, and you tighten the screw to make it firm. The other thing that happens sometimes with a fifth string peg is they won't glue them in. They'll just drill the hole and stick them in there kind of hard. And sometimes they'll turn inside the hole, so you just got to make sure it's pressed down in the hole real good. So with that said, I'm going to, let me say one more thing. This was shipped to me without strings on it, and what happens a lot of times on a banjo is that the nut will fall out, because a lot of times they're not glued in, they're just stuck in between the end of the fretboard and the little raised up piece of headstock here. As I'm looking at this one, it looks to me like it's in there backwards. See how the high side is up to the top instead of down here at this side? It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's in there backwards, because the high side should be on this side. This should be where your string comes, I believe. Probably what I'll do is nothing. I'll leave that alone, and I'll see if it plays right, because I might be wrong. It actually might be made to sit that way, but it doesn't look like it. But if I have any trouble with that not tuning, I'll see if I can gently tap this out and turn it around and put it back in there. Interesting. We'll see how that goes. So all I have to do really to put this back together is I've got to reassemble the pot, and I've got to make my two little wedges that hold my neck in place, and I'll show you how to do that when I get around to it, and then put the whole thing back together and string it.